Coming to you live from Pier 17 in the South Street Seaport District of Manhattan and brought to you by Chase. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Rose, Antonio Brown is back in the news. This time he went on Instagram Live and he told his followers, if anyone is following the Patriots, please tell them that I will play for them because they're going to have to pay me anyway. Brown has filed a grievance to recoup some of the money that he lost from the Raiders and the Patriots. Jalen, if Antonio Brown called your phone and said, Jalen Rose, you're such a wise man, what should I do? What advice do you have to give me? What action should I take next? What would you tell Antonio Brown?
Well, initially what I would have told him is, based on all of some of the questionable decisions he made away from the field, like throwing the couch out of the window and stuff like that, what I would have said is once he got a new lease on life with the Patriots, put down your phone until you play the football game that allows your $10 million to be guaranteed. At least that's what I would have said. Since that did not happen, at this point, and I follow him, I think his posts a lot of times are therapeutic for himself. You know he misses the game. This is what he's done his entire life. He's proven to be one of the best players to do it, and it was taken away from him so very fast based on some of the decisions that he has made. So that will be my advice. Continue to stay in shape, put down the phone, follow through with your grievance, and see that you will get another chance if you continue to show the people in the league that you've made some sort of sea change.
Jalen, moving on to another football story, and I continue to be surprised by what the NFL does when it comes to discipline. Vontaze Burfict appealed his season-long suspension. That appeal was heard, and the suspension was upheld. He will not play football this entire season for that hit on Jack Doyle. Both you and I felt this was a little heavy-handed from the league when it originally happened. I expected that this suspension was going to be reduced. It was not. Are you as surprised as I am that they upheld the suspension?
Well, I'm surprised and disappointed. And I think it was not only lame how they fined Ben Roethlisberger for wearing an Apple Watch on the sideline, but added a second hit to Vontaze Burfict's appeal that was not flagged during the game, and it wasn't initially discussed. But there's a caveat that I appreciate about this story that nobody's discussed and that I want to give to you exclusively on Jalen and Jacoby. That's why I appreciate certain people in power. And John Gruden comes to mind because usually in this scenario, a guy may get suspended for the year, and we're talking about if they're going to be out of the league based on their past transgressions, and he's probably not considered an all-pro. John Gruden is going to give him another chance. If he stays in shape and wants to play football, John Gruden will bring him back. I promise you. So when you see it at the bottom of the ticker, you heard it here first. Burfict and Jay Gruden will be members of the Raiders when they get to Vegas at some point.
Well, Richard Sherman got himself in a little bit of trouble. He, after the game against the 49ers, said that Baker Mayfield did not shake his hands at midfield as captain of the team. Well, guess what? Some video surfaced that, yes, indeed, Baker Mayfield right there shook Richard Sherman's hands. Richard Sherman went on to Zone's The Pat McAfee Show, shout out to Pat McAfee, and he said that he owes Baker an apology. One thing I really enjoy about this story is what Baker Mayfield said in response to this whole controversy. He said, quote, "I know what I did, but that's the one time a camera and something recording me has gone in my favor." I understand that Baker Mayfield not perform as the way we expected him to on the field so far this season, but he's always good for a good quote. I love Baker Mayfield's personality. Do you think that this whole entire saga is a bad look for Richard Sherman?
Sherm got caught out there, and I'm going to tell you what happened.
Okay.
Remember, he's a defensive back, went from Seattle to the 49ers, didn't necessarily play at his level when he first got there. The team struggled, and people started to write him and them off. Now they're undefeated. He's playing great. He's about to go into a game against Baker Mayfield. Seeing how cocky he's been, he's seen how Bosa couldn't wait to get him on the ground. These are things as a team you discuss. I've played so much sports, and the delusion in his head was, I'm going to give everybody else a high five, but the one person that we didn't give dap to and a hug, oh, he slighted me. All right, I'm about to use that as motivation now. When the game starts, we about to put it on them. 31-3.
Exactly.
Look up at the scoreboard. And then you talking to a microphone like, see, that's what he forget for not talking to me before the game. Not showing the kind of love that a young fella should be showing in the game.
See,
and then the video emerges, and he got caught out there.
See, I might just be justifying Richard Sherman's actions because I love Richard Sherman so much. But again, like you, I think he just made up the fact that Baker Mayfield slighted him in his head to motivate him while he played the game. And that delusion that he created actually became his reality, which he shared into a microphone. I know that it's complete justification for someone lying, but I'm going to stick with that story because I love Richard Sherman. I also love our next guest, Malika Andrews. She will be right here in studio after this.